Well, I don't think it's going to take that long.
Whenever Catalans won.
Within the next 7 to 10 years.
I hope that is soon.
The Basque Country will become independent after Wales, because we have to fight two empires.
Ti risponderei spero subito, spero il prossimo anno.
They know if we have a referendum, we'll win. And that's it.
Greetings from sunny Wales. It's really not sunny. It's overcast and very windy and kind of cold and rainy. But that's July in Wales. Anyway, I'm here at Cardiff Bay, which is the home of the Welsh Senedd, the Welsh Parliament. But for today only is home for the 2025 conference for the International Commission for European Citizens, which despite the fairly sort of routine sounding name is actually an umbrella group for independence movements from across Western Europe. So come with me while we go meet the separatists from Europe. This is Geraint Thomas, one of the leaders of the Welsh Independence movement. And I don't know if you caught this, but he's speaking Welsh, the national language of Wales.
Basque. Felly beth dwi'n dweud ydy, da ni'n mynd i gael chydig o godi llaw a gweiddi hwre. Felly mae'n ddigon am ni'n Gymru.
And in fact, most of this event was conducted in Welsh. For me, this was a new experience, and a surprising one. During my time living in the UK, I've visited Wales hundreds of times, but I've only heard the Welsh language in public occasionally, usually in small towns and rural areas, mostly in North Wales, and I've never heard it spoken before in Cardiff. But here I was, in the UK, attending a day-long meeting in which the only people speaking English were, like me, from other countries. And I think that's really cool. Allowances were made for those of us unfortunate enough not to speak Welsh. Simultaneous Welsh to English translation was made available over headphones for anyone that wanted it. One person who did not need it was Basque representative Begotxu Olaizola, who delivered her presentation on the Basque independence movement in Welsh. Considering how few people outside Wales speak Welsh, I thought this was a staggering linguistic accomplishment. I didn't come to this event with much understanding of the causes represented here, and I remain unconvinced that independence is necessarily the best outcome for all these national minorities, but I did come away with a much better appreciation of the problems these movements are addressing. The statement that struck me the most was delivered by South Tyrol representative Stephanie Mulser, who explained that anytime her people wanted to express their culture publicly, they needed to first get permission from the central government in Rome. And I get how that would lead to resentment and a desire for political change. Delegates from 7 different movements gave presentations, but rather than show you clips from these, I managed to get a few minutes with each of them alone.
Ok. Io sono Antonia Graziano, faccio parte di Trinacria, che è un movimento che lotta in Sicilia per l'autodeterminazione politica, economica, sociale e per l'indipendenza.
Why is independence important for you?
Ok, la Sicilia vive una condizione coloniale da ormai diversi secoli, possiamo dire, sotto lo Stato italiano, e credo che appunto l'indipendenza sia la chiave per l'emancipazione del nostro popolo, per ti cito una frase di un indipendentista che era Antonio Canepa, che secondo me racchiude un po' il senso dell'indipendentismo siciliano, e che la Sicilia del domani, cioè la Sicilia che vogliamo, deve essere ricca, pacifica, libera e indipendente, senza sovrani e senza sfruttatori.
What's your prediction? When will Sicily become independent?
È una bella domanda, ti risponderei spero subito, spero il prossimo anno, però siamo consapevoli che il percorso è lungo, e ciò che conta non è stabilire una data oggi, ciò che conta è appunto lavorare in questi anni, appunto nel percorso che ci porta all'indipendenza, perché poi l'indipendenza non è soltanto l'obiettivo finale, ma è il percorso che ti porta a raggiungerla, ecco.
Well, I'm Shona McAlpine. I'm an all-round Scottish troublemaker. That's probably the easiest way to describe it.
Why do you think Scotland should be independent? Can you put it in a short nutshell?
Just because. No, democracy is obviously the biggest issue, I would say. Whoever the English vote for is who gets in. Whoever the Scots vote for, the Welsh vote for, we don't get in. It's not how it works. So we don't have a true voice down in Westminster. Democracy just doesn't work when you have such a larger kind of group. So we vote differently, we think differently, but we don't have the same voice that we should have. So democracy should be in our hands.
When is it going to happen?
I'm going to leave now. Our problem is the UK Supreme Court said that Scotland does not have a right, we do not have a constitutional right to decide if we want to have a referendum for independence. So we have no way. We can claim mandates. So we can say the SNP have won, the Green Party, the pro-independence groups have won. That's the people are saying they want a referendum. But there's nothing we can do about it. They're not stupid. They know if we have a referendum, we'll win. So yeah, we're not getting a referendum anytime soon. I don't know how we're doing that, but we'll work on it.
Today's ICEC conference is really for the leadership for these different national independence groups. It's not really a big meeting, but don't let that give you the idea that these are not mass membership organizations. A month and a half ago, I was in Bari in South Wales, where I attended a YesCymru pro-independence march. It was really big and it was a lot of fun. So here are some scenes from my day in Bari.
We're mudiad Erylwen, we're a Welsh Republican movement. We want to complete total separation and elimination of the structure of imperial governments in Wales, including the English monarchy in Wales and especially the so-called Prince of Wales. We want it completely gone.
What do we want? When do we want it? No! Beth yn ei moyn? Beth yn ei moyn e?
I've hit the jackpot. We've got a member of the Welsh Senedd who's here. Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. It's Luke Fletcher, member of the Senedd for South Wales West, but also a Plaid Cymru member of the Senedd. So the Senedd is Welsh Parliament. Plaid Cymru is the party in Wales represented in the Senedd, so we're the third largest party in the Senedd, but it's the party that is in favour of independence and has been one of the founding principles of Plaid Cymru, self-determination for Wales. Yeah, well, so I think it's an opportunity for us to do something different in Wales. I've always said there's no point in an independent Wales if we're going to be exactly the same as the UK is now. It's an opportunity for us to do stuff that prioritises different things that's prioritised within the UK. For example, I'm really keen on talking about actually how do we build an economy that works for people rather than a very small portion of people. So a very socialist view on what a independent Wales could look like. That's what it represents for me, an opportunity to do stuff differently.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Mulser. I came from South Tyrol. It's in the North Italy, near Austria. I am the Bundesmagitenterin, the national representative of the Rifle Association from South Tyrol. We have 3 languages. We have a German, Italian, and Ladin speaker. I belong to the German speaker group, and in the moment, the German speaker are the biggest group, but becoming smaller because the Italian group is growing. We live in the Italian state, but we are more Tiroler. It's that in our history, the people in my home, they speak German, a dialect in German, and the Italian come always more and more. It's growing, and so it's important that our language have a secure that remain.
Okay, last question. When will South Tyrol become an independent country?
South Tyrol becoming independent when a lot of people in our home say yes to the independence. And I hope that is soon.
Yes, my name is Arqué, and I'm the spokesperson for ICEC in the Catalan countries.
Why should Catalonia be independent?
Because we are a nation and we want independence as everybody wants independence of their own country. In fact, everybody, the whole citizens of the whole world are independentists. One of them, they work so their independence keeps functioning, and the others, we work to restore the independence we once had before imperialism and fascism took our freedoms away. We used to have a state, but then in the time where wars took freedoms away, we lost that. And now with democracy, we understand that everybody would say, well, we don't solve things killing each other, right? So let's do it in a democratic way, and let's vote if you want to restore or not independence. And that's what all of us gather here today in Cardiff to talk how to take forward our aspiration so independence are a reality.
When will Catalonia become independent?
Whenever Catalans want. The point is that it's not easy because the states, the fear of the states, the compromises of the internal challenge is always the most difficult, and that is to make people in Catalonia, everybody to understand there's a universal right and we don't need the permission of Spain, because it's a universal right, the right to exist, right? So when everybody has that clear, then we will win.
So I'm Bart de Valck. I'm a Flemish Republican. I'm from the Flemish Republican movement. I'm from Flanders, and I'm a part of ICEC International. So yeah, Flanders is a part of Belgium. It's the biggest part of Belgium. According to the people who live in Flanders, we have the majority. So most of the people in Belgium are Dutch-speaking people. We want to get independent because Belgium at this moment is bankrupt. The French part is bankrupt. And at this moment, Flanders has to pay for 4 families. And also Flanders is getting into the problems. We are dragged into the Belgian morass. That's not only that problem, it's not only financial, it's also a problem about democracy. Because since 1970, the French-speaking part of Belgium succeeded to make a law which we need 2/3 of all the votes in the Belgian parliament to change the constitution laws. I think Belgium is a failed state. A failed state is a fake state because there's no Belgian nation, there's no Belgian language, there's nothing Belgium. It's created after the war against Napoleon, so it's a buffer state. There are 2 democracies in Belgium. There's a Flemish democracy and there's a French democracy, and we're going all of the two a different side. One is going to the left, and the one is going to the right. So there's nothing we can compare with ourselves. So it's a bad and it's a forged marriage, and we're always quarreling. And Flanders always have to pay more and more to the French part of Belgium.
When is Flanders going to become independent?
That's a very hard question, but I think when Flanders is going to be independent, it will be at a moment we don't expect. It will be accidentally. So what's new in the history of Belgium is that at the head of the Belgian state is standing a Flemish nationalist prime minister. That's unique, first time in history. The two Flemish national parties, the biggest parties in Belgium, they could form a government on the Flemish level. They could call out the Flemish independence. But I don't think it's going to take that long. I think we will be the first one in Europe who will get independent.
Hello, my name is Begotxu Olaizola. I come from the Basque country, and I'm here in Cardiff representing the Basque country in this international conference of oppressed nations in Western Europe. It's been fantastic to share experiences, to find the similarities, and to see that if we act together, we are stronger in our diversity. The Basque country is located on the Pyrenees, on the western side of the Pyrenees, on the Bay of Biscay, is overlapping France and Spain. We are a divided country. Part of it belongs to France and another part to Spain. 3 million people live there, and like in Wales, and the size of the country is similar to Wales. We speak Basque, and about almost 30% of the people can speak Basque, and we have a lot of things in common with Wales. That's why I've been learning a lot here. Independence is our only way to survive as a country, as a people, as a culture, and our language. Also, is the best way we can contribute to humanity and to human rights.
Why is the Basque language important to your struggle?
Languages are an essential part of the way we see things. So you cannot disentangle the fight for independence from the fight of the language. They are entangled. They are together. I mean, we don't aspire, our objective is not to become another version of Spain, even if it is a better version of Spain or a better version of France. We want to be the Basque country, and the Basque country means it's the country of the Basques, the people who speak Basque.
When will the Basque country become independent?
The Basque country will become independent after Wales, because we have to fight two empires.
So I'm Geraint Thomas. I am one of the Wales representatives on ICEC. I'm a former director of YesCymru, and I've been kind of organising and enjoying the event today. So Wales is a very small country, but very beautiful and beautifully formed country. We're on the western edges of the United Kingdom. We're a population of about 3.2 million. We do have some autonomy. We have devolution. We do have a parliament next door to this building here. We are striving for full independence. We are a nation rich in natural resources, water, wind. We're going to be a very wealthy country when it comes to renewable power. So we've got to harness that for our own benefits as a nation. So over the years, Wales has been left behind. Independence gives us the power to look after our own affairs for the benefit of the people of Wales. All our economy has been extractive. Now we can look at build a new economy, build a new Wales. That's good for the communities and the people of Wales.
The one thing I've noticed here today is most of the independence movements are also heavily associated with their national language, or that's an important part of it. I've never heard so many people speaking Welsh in Wales, and I heard you speaking Welsh when no one was looking. So it's obviously something you're not doing it for show. So can you just explain the importance of Welsh to the Welsh people and to the Welsh independence movement?
A language like any, my first language is Welsh, or my family, we have been for centuries. About 19-20% of the people of Wales actually speak Welsh as a first language, and that's not a political choice. You know, speaking a language is nothing political. We're not doing it for show. It's actually the language of life. It's the language that we speak in the house. It's the language that my children speak when they play rugby or soccer, football, golf. They speak Welsh with their friends. Even everybody down the pub speak Welsh. So it's a natural thing for us. We're not doing it for political effect, even though sometimes governments and people use it for political gain.
When is Wales going to become independent?
It's a good question. When is Wales going to be an independent nation? Well, I would hope that it would be within my lifetime. I'm 52, so I would hope that Wales would gain independence within the next 7 to 10 years.
You're going to live longer than 7 to 10 years, right? Okay. That scared me for a second. Okay, all right, so 7 to 10 years independence, that's actually really ambitious.
Yes, well, it's going to be a tough process. We are the opinion polls in Wales showing that we are maybe now at about 30%, 35% support for independence. Some polls showing 41%. We need to be somewhere around the 47, 48% mark before we enter the talk about a referendum. So in my mind, I would love to have a referendum somewhere around 2032. 2032 is quite significant because it would be exactly 3/4 of a millennium, 750 years since Wales lost its independence in 1282.
So the ICEC conference is over, and it's brightened up a little bit, although it's still windy. And the delegates have all gone off to the pub to have drinks together. But I've come out here to debrief and show you what I got inside. I did get into YouTube because of watching JJ McCullough, and he always shares the knickknacks from his travels. So I'll carry on that tradition. So here we go. This is a YesCymru tumbler, sort of travel coffee thing. It's made from some sort of ethical plastic, which won't kill me or something. So that's good, but I like it. It's pretty cool. I'll be using that. Here's a book called Independence in Your Pocket. It's in English and in Welsh. Here's the Welsh side. Yeah, I haven't read it yet. It looks pretty good. It's pretty detailed. I did read one thing. It said, why independence? And the answer is, why not? So there you go. Can't beat that, I guess. Last but not least, I have a Welsh cake. These are a staple. Anytime you are served a proper tea or a snack in Wales, often with butter, they're delicious. I'm not gonna eat one on camera because I won't be able to talk for like 5 minutes because they're that kind of food. They gum up your mouth, but they're really delicious. I do love them, Welsh cakes. So yeah, got one of those to take home for later. So yeah, let's just talk about this event, what it was. Fascinating. I have to admit, I went in sort of like slightly skeptical because most of these groups they're currently part of EU member nations, and a lot of them would like to remain in the EU if they become independent. And so it's kind of like low stakes independence, because if you're in the EU, you don't have to worry about a currency, you don't have to worry about a lot of stuff that makes becoming a new country really risky. It also begs the question, what's the point? Because when you're in the EU, a lot of the things that make a country sovereign, or at least that's what a lot of people think, are taken away from you because you agree to make your decisions jointly with the other members. That being said, being a full member state of the EU is really important, and it gives you a lot more power. And I think for a lot of people, the thing I take away is they're really trying to protect their culture and their language. And I do understand that. Is independence a good idea? Well, I have lived in the UK for a while, and I was here during Brexit, and all the things that people promised would happen with Brexit, all the arguments that they made why it'd be a good idea, have pretty much failed. There's still people that think Brexit was a good idea, but not much has come of it. But you certainly couldn't say that the things that were promised to the British people have really materialized at all. I think it's easy to assume that when you have more power, you'll just make better decisions than the other people, but governments all make pretty cruddy decisions, if I'm honest. So I'm not saying that to be depressing, but that's just kind of the reality of it. So just changing the government could be a very expensive, upsetting and time-consuming way to get something that's kind of similar. I think ultimately it has to come down to what's best for the people, and I mean the individual people. Will they be freer? Will they be more prosperous? Will they be happier? It's very hard to say that. Any big constitutional change always brings in lots of variables that you don't expect, lots of unintended consequences. It's a huge risk. I think it's great that they have the right to campaign for independence. They live in countries where that's allowed, and I think that is something that every country should allow. It's not something to be afraid of. So yeah, that's my day in Cardiff. It's been great. I've really had a good time. I've heard more Welsh spoken than ever before in my entire life, which has been pretty cool. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.